Hello everyone, the topic of our presentation is Montessori method and outdoor learning, and we focus on children aged from birth to 6 years old. This presentation is mainly aimed at training teachers, providing a detailed account of the core features, strengths and weaknesses of the Montessori method and outdoor learning. It also offers real classroom examples to assist teachers in understanding the practical application of these pedagogies. The overall structure of the content reference to the framework proposed by Nint et al. Maria Montessori was born into a prosperous bourgeois family in the central western Italy on August 31, 1870. Through her experiences in the mental clinic, she came to understand the value of education, the requirement of observation, the environment, and the manipulation of objects, which led her to believe that children construct themselves. In 1906, she took charge of a children's house, an institution she established in Rome. The 6th of January 1907 marked a significant turning point in Maria Montessori's life and career, because it was the first center where she implemented all of her pedagogical theories, the foundation of learning and the construction of the child, where she was convinced that the child was a teacher, a location that addressed issues in education. Beginning in 1907, her method gained popularity and disseminated throughout the world. This slide shows the overview of the Montessori pedagogy. The Montessori pedagogy regards the kid as a leader of their own education. Montessori educators serve as facilitators of children's learning. By organizing the learning environment, they guarantee that children are equipped with resources for all aspects of their growth. Additionally, evaluations in Montessori classrooms rely on observations, which simultaneously function as instruments for planning. Children's learning is characterized by freedom with responsibility. Activities and learning are developmentally suitable and correspond to the children's sensitive periods. Montessori defined the first phase of a child's development as the observant mind, as it is at this period that kids absorb information from their surroundings easily. This learning facilitation is not matched in subsequent developmental phases. She argued that this absorption was possible due to the kids' intrinsic motivation, which she termed the home. The home promotes the kid's special sensitivity to surroundings, which she termed sensitive periods. Besides, children are organized into vertical groups spanning 3 years, and Montessori educational resources facilitate auto education.
Now it's my turn to introduce the trainee teachers to what they should do in practice. So they need to prepare a learning environment beneficial for children. It must be safe, accessible, and available. Make sure that all the items in the environment are prepared according to the needs of children, such as child-friendly tables and chairs. Children need to feel free to move and choose in this environment. And the teacher also need to demonstrate the correct sense of responsibility. For example, putting things back in their original places and encourage older children to set an example and help their peers. They also need to encourage children to explore through their senses and ensure that the activity materials are real objects or three-dimensional models. The overall layout of the classroom should be beautiful, comfortable, and simple. Teachers also need to make children the center of learning and respect each children. They also need to provide correct and appropriate guidance, like they can introduce the new environment and the materials to the students at the beginning, but when the children are able to participate in the activities independently, they should step back. They also need to observe children, because observation is an important tool for teachers to identify children's sensitive periods and developmental needs, and the phenomena observed by the teachers will serve as a means of record and assessment. Next, let me present some real classroom examples to help the trainee teachers better understand how to guide children at different stages of the class and what the key points that teachers should pay attention to. It will include 2 parts, from 0 to 3 years old and 3 to 6 years old. 0 to 3 is the unconscious level, when the children are absorbing indiscriminately from the environment that surrounds them. And this is the time of sensitive periods for older movements, small details, and language. Teachers can cultivate children's independence and build their confidence in learning, and they can encourage children to explore the world and develop sensory cognition. They can also help toddlers improve their language skills. Children can develop gross motor coordination and fine motor skills. They can also develop emotional regulation abilities through small group activities, for instance, emotional cards. Here is also a video to help trainee teachers understand more clearly. 3 to 6 is the conscious level, reflecting the children's growing ability to organize and classify information, experiments, and concepts. At this age stage, teachers mainly have 5 parts needs to pay attention to: practical life, refinement of the senses, communication, language, and literacy. Now teachers can teach children what is numeracy and arithmetic. Cultural aspects of the life are also very important. It can help children develop their understanding of the world. Quality assessment organizations will use the Montessori model implementation evaluation checklist to assess the quality of teaching in the Montessori classroom. Now let we turn to the strengths and practicality of the Montessori method. The Montessori education emphasizes the holistic development of the children and the early development of confidence, collaborations, and independence, produce long-term positive impacts for children's achievement. And it also has a significantly positive impact on academic performance. The Montessori approach is also adaptable and practical, and it has spread worldwide and received support from many governments. It can undergo localization during its implementation in different countries to adapt to the mainstream values of the host country. It also has some weaknesses. It highly depends on the fidelity of implementation, and the Montessori method is difficult to maintain consistency in spatial practice, and the approaches of different schools vary greatly. It sets high standards for teacher quality and make high training costs. It is not suitable for England education system because the strong assessment and the measurable culture of local English schools is incompatible with the weak evaluation culture of Montessori. So how about the inclusivity of the Montessori method? The Montessori theory itself emphasizes respect for each individual children, regardless of their background, culture, and ability. For SEND children, the Montessori school will also provide additional resources, such as language therapy, and it will also closely cooperate with the children's families to better understand them and ensure that their needs are fully supported in all aspects. It has a strong inclusiveness towards different cultures and will adjust its teaching strategies to a certain extent based on the local cultural background and needs to better support local children. But the Montessori schools are mostly private and their tuition fees are relatively high, and this will impose restrictions on the education of children from economically disadvantaged families.
Hello everyone, today I will talk about outdoor learning in early childhood education. According to Prince and the degree, outdoor learning includes play, teaching, and learning that take place in outdoor space such as playgrounds, gardens, and nature environments. This approach became popular in Northern Europe, where many educators believe the children learn best through nature, movement, and real experience. Because of this, outdoor learning gives children more chance to learn beyond the classroom and experience the world around them. So why is outdoor learning important? Young children often learn best through play, movement, and cooperation. For this reason, outdoor space provides hands-on learning experience where children can touch, build, observe, and discover new things. In addition, it supports children's physical, social, and emotional development. Children can also improve their confidence, creativity, and independence while learning outside. Outdoor learning is closely linked to Friedrich Froebel. He was the founder of kindergarten and one of the most important early childhood educators. Froebel believed that education should support the whole child, include learning, emotions, and development. Because of his idea, modern earlier childhood education was strongly influenced by his work. Many of his ideas are still important today. Now, let us look at some of Froebel's key ideas. First, he believed that play was one of the best ways for children to learn. He also believed that children learn better when they are active participants rather than only listening to teachers. In addition, he saw nature as an important teacher. He believed that nature helps children understand the patterns, beauty, and the relationship in the world. These ideas can still be seen today. Outdoor learning reflects Froebel's child-centered philosophy because children learn through movement, free play, and direct experience. Nature space helps children become more interested, creativity, and independent. For example, a modern example is forest schools, where children explore, build, solve problems, and work together outdoors. This shows that global ideas are still relevant today. There are many strengths of outdoor learning. First, it supports physical development through activities such as running, climbing, and balancing. As a result, children improve coordination, strength, and confidence in movement. Second, it supports social and emotional development. Children learn to share, cooperate, and community during outdoor plays. In addition, outdoor learning supports cognitive development. Nature environments encourages children to ask questions, explore ideas, and solve problems. It can also help children become more creative and think of themselves. Finally, outdoor learning supports children's well-being and health. Spending time outdoors can improve mood, reduce stress, and increase enjoyment of learning. However, outdoor learning also has some challenges. Some schools have limited outdoor space, especially in cities. Although bad weather can make outdoor learning difficult at certain times of the year, teachers may need more time, confidence, and training to plan outdoor activities safely. Busy timetable and academic pressure can also reduce outdoor learning opportunities. Outdoor learning can look different in different schools and countries. Some schools have large green space, better resources, and stronger support for outdoor learning. However, other schools may have smaller playground or few resources. Therefore, teachers need to adapt outdoor learning to their own settings and children's needs. Even a small playground, garden, or local park can still be used effectively.
For children aged 0 to 6, outdoor learning should not be understood as taking children outside. The natural environment is not only a place where children learn, but also a direct learning resources. Teachers can design different activities according to weather, season, and natural materials. For example, children can observe plants, collect leaves, or take part in role-playing games. These activities allow children to learn through direct experience rather than only through classroom explanation. This is especially important in early children education because children often understand ideas better when they can explore and interact with real objects. Outdoor learning also gives children opportunities to make choices and solve problems independently. In outdoor activities, children are not just follow teachers' instructions, they can decide what materials to use and how to solve problems during play.
In outdoor learning, the teacher is a guider. The teacher does not only watch children play, but guides them think through questions and activities. For example, the teacher may ask, why is this one bigger, or how many stones do you have? This helps children think more deep while still giving them space to explore. Outdoor learning can also support curriculum learning. Children can practice early math by counting natural objects and early science by observing plants, weather, and nature. They can also develop communication, sharing, and problem-solving skills. This slide shows a classroom observation about number and quantity. In activity, children collect leaves and nature objects, then they sort them into groups, count them, and compare which group had more or few items. This helped children practice grouping and comparing in real situations. The teacher introduced the task, asked simple questions, observed children's behavior, and checked their understanding. The slide shows how teachers can assist children during outdoor learning. For young children, assessment should not merely be written tests. It's better to assist them through observation, simple questions, and their actions. For example, teachers can check whether children can follow the tasks and count objects, compare more or less, and work with others. This helps teachers understand children's early math, language, cooperation, and participation in a way. This slide focuses on the inclusivity of outdoor learning. First, not all children can join outdoor activities equally. For example, children with physical disabilities may find it harder to move around or use outdoor space. Second, children learn in different ways. Some children enjoy hands-on outdoor activities, but others may need more structure, clear instructions. Third, access is not always equal. Children from low-income backgrounds may have few safe outdoor space, materials, or sport. Finally, culture also matters. Different schools and countries may understand outdoor learning differently. So, teachers need to plan carefully to make outdoor learning safe, meaningful, and fair for all children. In conclusion, Montessori and outdoor learning are similar because both focus on children. They encourage children to be active, make choices, and learn by doing. However, they are also different. Montessori learning is usually more structured and used to prepare indoor materials. Outdoor learning is more flexible, nature, and less controlled. Overall, both methods are valuable, but they provide different learning experience. That's the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for listening.